What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Leadway Wealth Builders podcast, where I, Chris Rickenbaugh, am documenting my journey in real estate and business while also talking a little bit about travel hacking and personal finance. This is episode 124, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the importance of knowing your numbers. And this is going to be a little bit of a quicker episode, so just hang in with me and we'll roll through this really quick. So if you don't follow me on social media, go check out TikTok and Instagram and follow me at leadway.wealth, where I post about everything that I'm doing in my business, what I'm learning, books I'm reading, everything about me. And you can go over to figuringitoutfinance.com, which used to be my old brand, but you can go there, and that's where you're going to find all the links to this podcast, as well as those links to social media. So let's jump in today. So the past two books I've read, I just finished Profit First for Real Estate Investors, and the one before that was Profit First, the original or the updated version, and I loved every bit of it because I read the first one. I'm like, oh, this makes sense. I understand exactly what he's talking about. So I broke it out, and then somebody in my mastermind in the Deal Flow community said, hey, you should, or isn't there a real estate version? So I looked it up, ordered the book that minute. So dove into that one, just finished it. It was about 2 weeks. I took a little bit of time reading it, and I thought it was going to be just about rental properties, going to be really basic, but it really broke down wholesaling, selling companies or selling companies, kind of like a flipping or wholesaling model. And it really broke it down really well, and even touched on some more real estate specific things. And I'm like, oh yeah, everybody should be reading this book. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what I learned from it, and really just break down one quote and then go into the importance of it. I'm not going to go into exactly what I'm doing, but I'm built my whole model out within this past 2 weeks, switched all of my banking over to Relay to where I can open as many accounts as I need. So learning that system right now, and basically how it's going to be able to work in my business. So the quote here is, not knowing your numbers can keep you from achieving your goals and dreams. And the only thing I'd like to replace is the can with will. So it should read, not knowing your numbers will keep you from achieving your goals and dreams. So, whether this is on the accounting and financial side, that's what he's referring to in this book, and then that means David Richter and Mike Michalowicz wrote the original Profit First, but David Richter wrote the real estate version. And not knowing your numbers will keep you from achieving your goals and dreams, because if you don't know your numbers, you don't know where you stand. And that goes into flipping houses to where, if you don't know the numbers rolling into that deal, you're just hoping and praying that it's going to be able to make sense and make you money. And that's not the way to do business. So being able to get a grip on the numbers, you're able to see, okay, what's a good deal, what isn't. And then as a business as a whole, you're able to read those numbers as well and see how profitable you are. So really, that's the entire point of the book. And then it gets into, okay, how does this model work in real estate? Because there's going to be everybody that tries to argue it. It doesn't fit my model. It doesn't fit my business. And they're just plain wrong, because you're able to, set up Profit First, or I guess the biggest thing is people want to be able to grow and scale their company, but the problem is they think they just need to bring on more salespeople, more sales, and more. In real estate, that's more flips, more wholesales, more this. But if they're not tracking those numbers and taking a profit from it to be able to then hang on to it, understand who you can hire and for how much, you're not going to be able to grow that company. So by implementing this system, this simple system, you're able to see exactly where your numbers are at. You're able to pay yourself from it, and then you're able to see what those operating expenses are in the company and see if you're profitable. And as you grow the profitability, you're able to, or once you break down those numbers, you're able to see the efficiency of each of those key areas in your business. And through that efficiency, you can shut down some, you can pump more into others, and then you're going to be able to see who you can hire to be able to grow that. Because the most profitable areas in your company, you're going to invest more in that rather than something that's not making you money. And then through that, you're going to be able to grow and scale your company. But all of that starts with knowing your numbers from the beginning. So for me, I'm about a year into this now, 1 year out of a W-2 and about 10 months into full-time real estate where I'm flipping, or from when I bought my first flip. And, if I started with this from the beginning, I still kind of feel like I'd be in the same position. I'd have a little bit of a better grip on my numbers. I track every single thing I spend. It was more of, just the learning that I've gone through in this past year. But now that I understand this process and we have 5 flips going on at one time, it's really easy to be able to implement this. And then, each flip has their own account. So basically what I can do is, as soon as I get a draw from the hard money lender, all I have to do is throw it straight into that certain house account. So I can change the name on it, change it, whatever. So say 123 Main Street, I get a draw for $10,000 that goes straight into that account as soon as that goes into my draws for flips account, which I then move into 123 Main Street account. And then from there, I can move it into the operating expenses to be able to reimburse myself for that card that I used to pay. So just understanding where your numbers are at, understanding the flow of numbers and being able to separate it all, that's going to be the biggest thing through Profit First, and just understanding those numbers rather than just having 1 or 2 main accounts. So like I said, it's going to be a short episode. That's all I got for you today. I just really wanted to break down the importance of knowing those numbers and then leave you from there to be able to go read the book and implement this system, because I think this is going to be a huge game changer. And not think, I know this will be a huge game changer in my growing business. So that's all I got for you today. Thank you for listening to episode 124 of the Leadway Wealth Builders podcast. I did an interview today, and that will be episode 126 with a local investor in my area, breaking down how he buys houses, his background, and go into detail on what the market looks like. So make sure you tune into episode 126, and then we will see you there next Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.